Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama on the floor last night for the first time. Let me show you something fun. Get used to watching this. Paul throws it up and Wembanyama throws it down. Paul finished with 5.3 assists. Wemby had 11 in a win over the Magic. We'll show you some more Wemby in a minute because he's just ridiculous. Elsewhere, Warriors, Kings last night. Golden State hit 28 threes. That's the most in a preseason game in the last 20 years. Steph had 3 of them. He had 13 points in 16 minutes. In New York last night, Karl Anthony Towns making his Madison Square Garden debut. He scored 25 points. Knicks blew out the Wizards. Jalen Brunson played 23 minutes, and he scored 23 points. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let the internet go insane. It is the moment most people thought would never happen, and it has. It is my pleasure to welcome Shams to ESPN as our new ESPN, our new NBA senior insider.
Appreciate you.
Get the screenshots going. Go ahead, get the memes going. It has indeed begun. It's a pleasure to welcome you here. We're delighted to have you.
I appreciate you, Greeny. I'm not ready to hit the that boy bad yet, but I told Harry I'm ready. Just give me a little bit of time.
Shefty wasn't ready either, but it didn't stop him. But that's a different conversation. Okay, let's go through some of the NBA headlines. So Karl Anthony Towns, the Knicks had quite the offseason, right? With the big acquisition, we thought we were going to see the Nova Knicks. Now that that obviously goes one way, Karl Anthony Towns comes in, the dust has sort of settled. What are the big picture looks at the Knicks right now as the season gets underway?
The Knicks we've seen over the last few years, they've been opportunistic, right? So when you think about this summer, they go get Mikal Bridges, then they get Karl Anthony Towns. They were working on that deal all summer. So their 2 big moves have already been made. Now, really, their big acquisition this season is going to come in the form of Mitchell Robinson. And that is essentially the piece that's missing. We know Tom Thibodeau, everything I hear, he loves Mitchell Robinson at the 5 defensively. And I'm told that he will be out for the entire calendar year 2024. The plan is for Mitchell Robinson to return at some point in January and then get integrated. And that's when the Knicks can finally get a look at this team as a whole in January. But listen, they have the talent right now where they're going to have lofty expectations. They made it to the second round last year. Conference finals. That's what people in New York, when you have one of the best starting 5s in the league, that is the expectation. But let's see how this team looks. And there are multiple teams around the league also monitoring Mitchell Robinson and how he looks as he's making his return. Because you think about this roster, there's not a ton of trade flexibility. It's going to be contracts like his if the Knicks make another move.
Okay, be interesting to see what they do. Now, on the other coast, obviously we're seeing something unprecedented. We're seeing LeBron and his son Bronny playing together, and this is obviously the culmination of a lifelong dream for LeBron. What is the plan for them to onboard? I guess what I'm asking is, how soon should we expect to see them on the floor together?
We're going to be seeing history very, very soon. The expectation around the Lakers is that their debut together, the first father-son duo in NBA history to play at the same time in a game, will be as soon as opening night, October 22nd, against the Minnesota Timberwolves at home at Crypto.com Arena, from everything I'm told. That is the plan, that is the hope. But again, it's up to JJ Redick, LeBron James, and I guess their comfortability. JJ Redick has said publicly that he's going to involve both LeBron James in that process. And so I think that is a process we'll see play out. But this is a player, Bronny James, 4-year contract, second-round draft pick. This is going to be a developmental year for him in a lot of ways. He's going to spend a lot of time on the active roster, a lot of time also in the G League when that starts in November. So we're going to see a player who went through a lot of medical stuff last year with a cardiac arrest. He's still finding his footing, and that's how we're going to see him this year in a developmental.
And I'm still getting used to hearing JJ Redick as the coach of the Lakers. What is the early sense of how that's going for him, our former teammate here at ESPN?
The early sense is how detail-oriented JJ Redick is, the focus that he has, and how much he lives, eats, and just digests basketball on a daily basis. That is what everyone in Los Angeles that I speak to says about JJ Redick. And I had one person with the Lakers tell me the other day is the accountability and how detailed he is and focused with his game planning, his prep, his out-of-bounds plays. That is what gets players up and gets them excited about this. And right now he has LeBron James and Anthony Davis's buy-in, and that's the most important part.
All right, so the season gets underway soon, but I don't want to let this finish without just feasting our eyes once again on the most dynamic player I think that the NBA has ever seen. I said this on SportsCenter this morning. Don't get used to this. Don't allow this to become something you get numb to because he does things that you've never seen before. Victor Wembanyama does and is going to continue to do. Where the plays that we had on top plays this morning, he had the number 2 and the number 5 top plays as he continues now with Chris Paul. Look at this. There's never been anything like this.
You talk about detail and focus. Victor Wembanyama had that. The day after the regular season ended with the Spurs last year, they didn't make the playoffs. They were one of the worst teams in the league. He was in the gym. He was doing 2-a-days as soon as last season ended. This is a guy who last year, going into the rookie year, put on 10 to 15 pounds. This summer, puts on 20 to 25 pounds. He is a relentless worker. We see that. He's focused. He's detail-oriented as they come. As long as he maintains that. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
That
it's a
pass.
video game. It's a
Come
video
on.
game.
He's 7'5" at least.
It's a video game.
And he's making that pass. He is. Listen, I've been at ESPN 28 years. This is a special place. We are delighted to welcome you. Seriously.
Thank you.
All right, I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Thank you.
Shams is at.
There's a new kid in town. Oh, look at that. The school bus and everything. Carl Anthony.
I'm here. I made it.
Yeah, right? Taking on the Wizards in preseason action. Garden debut. Look at him with his
I made
camcorder.
it. I'm here, guys.
Look at this. I didn't know they still
throwback.
made camcorders. There
They
you
were
go.
back in style. Who knew?
All right, taking on the Wizards. Looks good in that uniform. Third quarter, Knicks up 15. Look at Jalen Brunson to Towns. Pick and roll action. These two showing a little bit of chemistry. Knicks fans, sign of things to come. And then 5:30 left in the third. More two-man game. Yeah. Nice. Getting down low for the basket. These two looking good together. And they got the D on the wing side. Hey, look, this Knicks team, don't doubt them. A minute later, Karl Anthony Towns, he was only 1 for 7 from deep in this game, but that one, that looked nice. Three-pointer right there, 25 points, 12 boards, 2 assists in 28 minutes. Knicks win. Hey, by the way, the odds makers are loving the Towns trade for the Knicks. Prior to the trade, they were at plus 800 to win the title. Now they have the third shortest odds after the Celtics and the Thunder to win it all. That's according to ESPN Bet. New man in New York. Now to our new man at ESPN, the man who broke the news of Karl Anthony Towns getting traded to the Knicks. ESPN senior NBA insider Sham Charania making his ESPN debut right now. All right, man. Welcome. We're excited to have you on the team. Just got to say that. We love your work. We're putting you right to work this morning. Do you expect any more moves by the Knicks before the start of the regular season in just 12 days?
Ryan Kelsey, the Knicks have obviously been opportunistic over the last several months. They've made their big moves when you think about Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns. In a lot of ways, their big move is going to come during the season. The trade deadline acquisition per se will likely be that Mitchell Robinson return. I'm told he is out for the rest of this calendar year, 2024. The plan for Mitchell Robinson as of right now is to return in January 2025, and Tom Thibodeau does love him defensively, what he brings at the 5 position. So seeing lineups with him and Karl Anthony Towns down the line here of this NBA season, but other teams are monitoring Mitchell Robinson, his health, how he returns. The Knicks want to see this team in full, and that's going to be with Mitchell Robinson at the 5.
All right. Seems like we'll have to wait a little longer. As you said, he played in just 31 games last season. Meanwhile, let's talk a little LeBron James and, of course, his son, Bronny, because they made their debut together and made history on Sunday when they became the first father-son to play together in an NBA game when the Lakers faced the Suns in the preseason. LeBron and Bronny, they played together only 4 minutes and 9 seconds after the younger James checked in the game in the second quarter. And then Bronny played just over 13 minutes. He didn't score. He did have 4 turnovers, but we got to see a little history as they took the court together. So, Shams, what can we expect to see, or when can we expect to see Bronny on the court again in the regular season? What do you think?
The official history will come really early in the NBA calendar. From what I'm told, it will be as soon as opening night, October 22nd, against the Timberwolves. JJ Redick, the Lakers, they're still going to figure out exactly what makes the most sense for Bronny James and LeBron James to make history and become the first father-son duo to play in an NBA game in league history. But for the Lakers, for Bronny James, this is going to be a lot of development this season. He's going to spend a lot of time on the active roster, but also in the G League when that season starts in November. So it's going to be shuttling at times back and forth, but that return, for LeBron and Bron.
Hello, Bronny James, rookie for the Los Angeles Lakers and son of LeBron James, has already faced severe criticism early in his NBA career. After performing below expectations in the first few preseason games, he was the target of harsh comments from Kwame Brown, a former Lakers player and considered one of the biggest disappointments in NBA draft history. Brown openly criticized Bronny, highlighting his lack of fundamentals and insinuating that LeBron's success was more due to his athleticism than technical knowledge. Bronny had a low-key performance, shooting just 1 of 7 in the first 2 games, but also recorded 3 blocks in his debut. Although many fans argue that he is still in the development phase, Brown used his YouTube platform to criticize the youngster, which generated mixed reactions among fans. Bronny, a second-round draft pick, faces high expectations and will likely spend some time in the G League to develop with less pressure. The transition to the NBA is challenging for any player, and for Bronny, being constantly compared to his father, LeBron, makes the path even more difficult. Even so, he is only 19 years old and his career is just beginning. The adaptation process takes time, and the definitive answer to criticism will come with his evolution on the court, whether in the G League or on the Lakers' main team. Being the son of a legend like LeBron James brings both opportunities and challenges. Bronny faces immense pressure, but he has the time and tools to overcome the difficulties and build his own story in the NBA. Thank you for watching. Leave your comment below. A hug and see you next time.